We're finally back. Sorry I took so long, but hey, better late than never. So here we are again with another Things You Forgot video for Rainbow Six Siege. This time we're doing the minor reworks, meaning the reworks that didn't really have enough changes to deserve an actual video for it. Because if I did that, each of these videos would be like 5 minutes, and I just feel like that's a bit pointless. So we have 3 maps to cover in this video today. There are technically 5 maps that have had minor reworks, 2 of them though being Stadium Alpha and Stadium Bravo. Unfortunately I can't include in this video. Because these were released very late into the game, that being year 7, I'm struggling to actually get a working version of Old Siege for these later seasons, as Ubisoft seem to have added more security stuff within those later years, and I'm kinda worried about my account getting banned or something. It probably won't, but it's just like, do I really want to risk my whole Siege account just for freaking Stadium Alpha and Stadium Bravo of all maps? I'm going to still try and get this working, and if I do manage to, I'll include these 2 in a separate video. I'll only be narrating over things that changed, and then just doing a 30-second clip showing some more interesting areas of the old map. So let's start off the video with the first map, which is one of the original maps that is still in rank to this day, that only changed slightly, and that is Bank. Honestly, I don't even blame you if you forgot this map got reworked, because barely anything even changed in this map. Some of it did affect the gameplay a bit, but it definitely isn't anything like the next map we're covering in this video. Bank was reworked in year 6 season 3, Crystal Guard. More things changed on the outside than the inside in this map, to be honest, with most of the changes being at the alley spawn point. Definitely a noticeable amount of cover being added in the rework, to the point where if you get spawn killed out of this door now, you've got a massive skill issue, to be honest. The back alley also never used to connect to the jewelry front. This background building was right against the east wall of the map, so there wasn't actually a space to go through here. In the rework though, this building was pushed more to the east, so now there's a little alleyway connecting the 2 spawn points together. If we head to the opposite side of the building now, every single one of these windows was open, so attackers could shoot the defenders through literally any one of these windows. The top part of all of the windows is closed off now though, with some other windows also being closed off. It's definitely a lot fairer now. The skylight above the east stairs and the mid stairs also changed a bit in terms of the glass panels that are open. Every single one of these was open in the original, which really gave attackers an unfair advantage here. The more unfair ones though are now blocked off nowadays, so attackers can't peek around the whole skylight anymore. Good thing too. Now if we move to the inside of the building, there are actually only 2 layout changes on the interior of this map. The first one being when we walk through the north entrance. Nowadays in this room, there's a single door on the left and a double door on the right. However, in the original, only the double door on the right existed. There was actually a double door on the left as well, but this one was completely blocked off. There were still some gaps between these props though, so you could still get some pretty nasty peeks from them. The other layout thing that changed on this map were the elevators. On every single floor actually. So let's go from the second floor and work our way down. In the rework, the right elevator is open with the left one closed, and the right one also has a hatch in the floor. In the original though, it was the complete opposite. The right one was actually closed with the left one open, and the left one had a hatch in the floor. Let's head down one floor now to the middle floor. Both of these elevators were open in both versions, but in the original there was a hatch in the floor in the right one, whilst in the rework the left one is the one that has the hatch. The right one was also up slightly so you could chuck a drone in there. And for the basement, the left one was always closed and the right one was always open. However, in the rework, both elevators here are connected together with the inner wall taken out, so there's a bit more space to move around in here now. This might not seem like a significant change at first, but it definitely makes attacking basement from the elevator more viable now. As in the original, the hatch used to be in the right elevator, so defenders could literally just stand outside the elevator and shoot any attackers falling down the hatch, before the attackers even have a chance to do anything. Whilst we're in the basement, let's check out the things that changed down here. And we can see something straight away, which are these iron bars separating the vault lobby from the vault entrance. This has just been replaced by a regular window in the rework, which may be a controversial take, but I actually don't like this change. I think these iron bars just added more charm to the map, to be honest. I really wish the devs would stop taking away stuff like this. Although they were kind of annoying, I'll admit. Something else you may notice in this room is the hatch in the ceiling, which isn't there in the rework. This hatch is still here in the rework though, it's just been moved. Nowadays it's in the lobby and leads straight to the vault. There never used to be a hatch in the vault before though. Then the entrance to this hatch used to be in the tellers rather than the lobby. The gold vault has kept the exact same layout, but originally it used to have all these iron bars around, making it feel a lot more claustrophobic than it is nowadays. Again, something I really didn't think they should have changed. These iron bars just make bank, to be honest. And then there were some more iron bars at the end of the secure hallway, which has now been replaced by an actual door that you can barricade. I'm not as bothered about these iron bars going. They were a bit more broken considering you can get some nasty angles on the hatch there and attackers couldn't really do anything about it. Plus just having another spot to actually put a breachable door down is pretty nice. Let's talk about another hatch now, which was in the original but completely removed from the rework, that being the one in the open area, or should I say the other one in the open area, because there actually used to be two hatches in the open area rather than just the one we have now. This one was right in the middle of the room, with the top of it being in the second floor hallway. This hatch really made open area a much worse objective back then. Not really bad, but honestly I kind of preferred to pick Teller's office and archives back then as a bomb objective. There isn't actually anything else to cover on the second floor. The only things that really changed here is again that hatch and the elevator, but the second floor overall saw the least amount of changes in this rework. The bomb sites all stayed the same in this rework as well, although as I mentioned previously, I think Teller's office and archives was actually a better bomb site than start from an open area in the original, just because of that hatch existing right in the middle of the open area. That could just be my opinion though, I don't know if others felt the same way or not. And the next map we're covering in this video is Border. Unlike most of the maps we've already covered in this series, Border, also known as the "Do not attempt to board the helicopter" map, I think was a really solid and balanced map prior to rework. The rework just improved it even further. Not much really changed on the outside between these two versions. The only things notable really are these doors that were added in the valley spawn point for some extra cover, and some changes to the balconies. On the original west balcony, this whole wall here used to be open, so attackers would be able to rappel up here and get a line of sight through the door of the security room. This is now just a brick wall though, so the only way to actually get a line of sight through the door of the security room is by standing on the balcony itself. Then on the south balcony, this brick wall was added on the outside opposite the security room door. In the original, this wall didn't exist, so attackers would be able to stand all the way at the back and get a line of sight into the hallway. This was pretty broken, so this was definitely a good change. The northeast balcony definitely saw the most changes though. For a start, the stairs on the north side never used to exist, so originally the only way to access this balcony was through rappelling up to it. To be fair, I don't think the addition of these stairs really changed anything with the map. What certainly did impact the map more was the east stairs door being pushed further forward in the rework. Due to it being a lot further back in the original, these walls into the office actually used to be outside. These walls haven't moved at all, so yes, it is literally just this outside portion that was moved indoors instead. And then a couple of these outside walls didn't used to exist. So let's head into the east stairs room. You can already notice a bit of difference in here, that being the door to the waiting room balcony not existing. That's because this waiting room balcony didn't actually exist at all. There was no way to get from the security room to the east stairs before. Definitely a really good addition for this map. Also, the windows to this balcony completely flipped around. It used to be the left and middle ones open with the right one closed, whilst now it's the right one open with the left and middle ones closed. Pretty crazy. A really weird thing though with this window on the right in the original is that it doesn't actually come through the other side, it's only on the outside. So yeah, this window doesn't really make any sense at all. If you're wondering what the door in the security room that led to this balcony used to be, it was just a breachable wall. Well, I mean break room actually, but I'm just so used to calling this whole thing the security room. Speaking of the actual security room though, the walls either side this door that links the break room to the security room both used to actually be breachable in the original, although you wouldn't be able to get past them. They had iron bars inside, but you could at least get some nasty peeks off of them. Despite the reworked border here having the most updated graphics, I really think the original here just looks so much better, especially for the security room. The only other notable thing that changed in this room was the movement of the hatch that leads into the customs. It used to be right in the middle of the room, but now it's been moved to the southeast corner. There was actually one pretty big change to the offices though. This part here, which is now part of the archives, actually used to be part of the offices. So the archives actually used to be a bit smaller, whilst the offices was a bit bigger. Again, this was definitely a good change because it made archives a little bit easier to defend now. And that original corner of offices was kind of redundant anyway. Tellers used to actually be a lot harder to defend because the ceiling above it here was actually breachable. Not only that though, but there actually used to be a hatch leading to it as well. This whole floor is no longer breachable though, and the hatch to it is gone. There is a new hatch though which leads into the showers, and this one did not exist in the original. We'll get to why that didn't exist in the original a bit later. The main thing that changed in Armory is the window. The window itself is still in the same place, but the stuff around it definitely did move around a little bit. There used to be lockers either side of the window, forming like a mini hallway, which made it pretty difficult to attack from here. The left lockers are still there, whilst the right ones got shorter, and now there's a locker set opposite the window instead. And then there's the floor, where this part above the west entrance actually used to be breachable. It definitely made defending workshop a lot more viable back then, as attackers could cover the two most popular entrances just from the same room. Let's move on to the customs. I thought a lot changed in this room, but surprisingly most of it has actually stayed the same. The biggest change in here are the breachable walls leading into the passport check. All 4 of these walls used to be breachable, but now 2 of them are just solid, with the 2 ones closest to the door being breachable. A more unfortunate room that was reworked was the customs desk. This room used to be really unique in the fact that pretty much all of the walls in here were breachable, but only at head height. They weren't walls you could actually walk through, they just had iron bars on the other side. It wasn't very good staying in this room, but it was just cool. Quite a few of these breachable walls were taken away, and all the ones that remain you can walk through. They're just normal breachable walls now. As for the partner in bomb objective, the supply room, this one did change, not much, but the things that did change definitely helped it out a lot. First of all, the door and the breachable wall leading into the supply room have switched places. Now that the door's on the left instead of the right, you're not going to get shot instantly as soon as you walk into the room. There also used to be some obstacles blocking the window, which made it much easier to plant in this room. Now that furniture has been moved out a bit, which gives defenders another angle on that window. The only thing I can see, other than the balcony of course, that's changed in the waiting room, is this doorway here. This doorway never used to be barricadable in the original as it was way too big, but now it's been changed to a standard double door, so defenders can barricade it like any other door now. I know some people like to castle this door off when defending tellers and bathroom. This strat of course couldn't be done in the original though, so the way tellers and bathroom is played is definitely different to how it used to be. There's definitely a bigger reason on why this is though, because the bathroom used to look a lot more different than it does now. This line right here is actually where the end of the bathroom used to be, so it was half as big as it is now. So where did that breachable wall in the tellers used to lead to then? Well, that just led to outside actually. So yeah, tellers and bathroom really isn't like it used to be. And that's certainly a good thing because this objective was awful back in the day. But now that we're on the topic of bomb objectives, did any change? No, they are all actually exactly the same as they used to be. All of them have changed the way they're played though in some way. Lockers and archives I would say is the least one changed, with it still being the best objective now, and it was back in the day as well. I would say it's a little bit easier now just because of the archives being bigger. Bathroom and tellers I think is considered the second best objective by most people nowadays, where previously it was the third or worst objective. This one definitely changed the most because of that bathroom being extended and connected to the tellers now, meaning bathroom used to only have one exit out of that door, and tellers overall used to be harder to defend because of that breachable wall leading outside and because of the hatch in the ceiling. The third best objective nowadays is definitely debatable, but personally I prefer the ventilation room and workshop, which was definitely the second best objective in the original. I wouldn't say this objective really changed much at all though. The only change really that would impact it is the breachable ceiling above that west entrance door not being breachable anymore, which would probably make the objective slightly worse to defend nowadays. And then finally, the customs and the supply room, which I would consider the worst objective nowadays personally, and also the worst objective in the original. I think statistically, the bathroom and tellers was worse in the original, but I just preferred that objective for some reason. This objective is definitely a lot more bearable to defend nowadays though. The secure area and hostage locations for this map didn't really change at all, except for one hostage location where the objective used to be in the customs itself, but nowadays it's been moved to the customs desk room instead. And that is Border done. Overall this was a really good rework. Again, personally I think Border was a great map before anyway, but its rework just improved it even further. Let's get on to the next map then. And now the final map to cover in this video, everyone's favourite overrated map, Coastline. This one was reworked in Year 6 Season 3, Crystal Guard, and it definitely saw less changes than Border. Pretty much every single change that happened on this map helped the defenders. As far as I remember, you used to be able to get on top of these roofs as an attacker in the original, which you can't nowadays. I couldn't quite figure out how to do this though. I mean, I never used to do this, so yeah, I just don't know. But I feel like I remember people getting on top of these and getting some very horrible peeks through the windows. So mean! Another thing that changed to stop the attackers getting some really nasty peeks was this thing in the middle on the roof. I don't know what this thing is called, to be honest. I'm sorry. I just don't know. But this wooden thing never used to have this, I don't know, metal concrete sheet thing through it. And it was kind of weird and reworked now that I think about it. But it was a good change, because this was so annoying as a defender. If attackers blew that billiards wall up, they would have angles in so many places up here. This window here also used to be open in the original, but with bars in front of it, whilst in the rework it's now closed. so that also gave attackers another line of sight. Quite the opposite with the other side though. This window is now vaultable in the rework, but in the original it had bars in front of it, so you could only vault through the one next to it and only use this one for peeking through. And same thing happened with this window downstairs. You can jump through it in the rework, but in the original it had bars in front of it. I think the main thing on this map that everyone remembers changing though is the infamous VIP wall, which didn't used to be a wall before. It actually used to be a double window before. This again impacted the attackers because they would have to take a hard breacher to get this wall open and get into the VIP room, instead of just, well, jumping through the window. A less interesting change with the VIP room though is this little corner here, which used to have this little spot you could hide in, instead of it all just being more open now. This hiding spot was kind of pointless though, as there was a drone hole here, so well, attackers could still just shoot you through it. And in saving the most game-changing update till last, there used to be bars on this window in the service entrance, rather than you being able to vault through it, like you can nowadays. Well, I'm joking, that's not actually the most game-changing update, although that is a thing. Although the update does relate to the service entrance, because reception in the original didn't exist. Reception here was actually still part of the service entrance, so both of these two rooms were the service entrance. So why was this game changing? Well, it made the kitchen and service entrance bomb objective awful. As reception was also service entrance back then, attackers could literally plant on the other side of the front door. So yeah, if attackers managed to plant here, then GG's, attackers have won. Of course nowadays, as this is part of reception, attackers can't do this anymore and you have to plant in this room instead, the service entrance. Because both of these rooms used to be the same room as well, this door in the middle here never used to be barricadable, although I don't think that really impacted anything anyway. I mean, why would you want to barricade this door in the original? And I'm pretty sure that's all the changes on this map. Not too many, but I don't think it really needed that many changes to be fair. None of the bomb objectives changed either, but because of the stuff I already mentioned with the service entrance, I think Penthouse and Theatre was a much better bomb objective than the kitchen and service entrance back then, although kitchen and service entrance was definitely still better than Blue and Sunrise Bar. And that is the video done. I'm sorry this one took so long to get out, but hey, I'm back now. We're gonna get back into these again. Apologies again for not including Stadium Alpha and Stadium Bravo in this video, but if I do manage to get those working, I'll go ahead and make a new video on that. Let's be honest though, who actually cares about these maps? Let me know which 3 of these maps you think got the best rework though. Personally, I would say Border. It was already a great map, but it made it so much better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.